Hey everyone, this is the Banana Tuna, and today we're gonna go over how to play Guilty Gear Strive. So the first question that a person may ask is that why should you get into Guilty Gear? Well, the easy answer to that is that this game is super sick. The character designs are absolutely amazing, and the soundtrack is extremely hype. The song that's playing right now is called Smell of the Game. It's actually one of my favorites. And also, the mechanics of this game are pretty in-depth, but they're actually pretty approachable. So if you're a new player that's probably hesitant about picking up a new fighting game such as Strive, I recommend that you totally should pick it up, since this is probably one of the more easier entries of the game to get into. And with the game just being released probably about like a month ago, which came out like, I think it was around June 6th, you should totally hop on to this game. And with that in mind, let's get into the guide. But before that, let's just admire a bit just how sick this intro is. Alright, so let's get started. So on my screen right here, we have two characters. On the left is Soul Bad Guy. Yes, his name has the word bad guy in it, which is why this game's too cool. And the second character to the right of the screen is Kai Keese. So Guilty Gear Strive can be identified mainly as an anime fighter. I think that'll be up to debate on Twitter, so we'll let people decide about that, because this game probably diverts away from most anime fighters as well. But Guilty Gear Strive probably follows most of the same rules and guidelines of what identifies as an anime fighter. So let's talk about the movement to begin with. So, of course, you can hold left to move, or depending on your direction, you can hold back to move backwards, you can hold forward to move forwards. If you input in direction forward, click twice in one direction, you can dash. And you hit the input twice, you can go backwards. You can also jump, and you can crouch. And specific to anime fighters, you can double jump, you can air dash by clicking the forward input, or basically the dash input, which is basically you click the direction twice in the air to do an air dash, and also air dash backwards. So that's basically what the majority of most anime fighters have in regards to movement. And of course, like most fighting games, you have a health bar and a timer. So if you see the bar next to the character portraits, so if I were to hit Kai, see how his bar decreases. I have auto regenerate on, so it'll recover the health he lost, but you can see for a slight second that it's reducing and the damage is red. That means he's getting hit, so that's basically how you're taking damage. And in the middle of the screen, you see where the infinite sign is. There's the word round time on top of the infinite sign. That's basically the timer. And in most anime fighters and basically fighting games, 1v1 fighting games in general, that the timer will be 99 seconds. So that'll go down, and the time runs out, the round is over. So with that, let's get right into the buttons of Guilty Gear Strive. So Guilty Gear Strive is a 5-button fighting game. So what I mean by 5 buttons, if it wasn't obvious enough, that means there are 5 ways to attack your opponent. So let's go over the 5 buttons. So the first button is basically, so all characters have this, is your 5P, or your punch. We'll talk about number notation after this. So you see this is Soul's punch. See, so mainly punches are used to kind of poke your opponent. They don't give you too many combo opportunities. So that means you're just there to poke your opponent. You also have your kick, which is sometimes used as a combo starter depending on the character you have. That's a low version. And then your slash. And the special thing about slash is that it's called a proximity normal. So what do I mean by proximity normal? So the thing about slash is that depending on how far you're from the opponent, your attack actually changes. So see how there's some distance between Soul and Kai. If I were to click slash, Soul has more like a gun punch. And when I'm up close, Soul kind of does somewhat of an uppercut. I wouldn't really call it an uppercut, and kind of lifts Kai off the ground, like off his feet. And this is far slash. And this is closer, we call it close slash. Remember, they're called close slash and far slash. If I'm close to Kai, it's called close slash. And if I bit space from Kai, it's called a far slash. And so the move changes depending on how close you are from your character. And slash is basically the only move that does that. Finally, have your heavy slash, which is like a really heavy, super high impact move. You can see the heft into that move. And then you have your dust. And your dust move, which all characters have, is actually pretty special. So, the thing about dust is that it's an overhead, meaning that if you're blocking this attack, you have to block standing, which we'll go over how to block later. And also about your dust, you also have something all characters have called a universal sweep. So you hold down in dust, you basically trip your opponent. And another really cool thing about dust is that if you hold the dust input, see how there's kind of red glow and orangey glow that comes off of soul if I hold the dust button. If you were to hit your opponent, you get this really cool cinematic attack. Let's do it one more time. Very cool. Very cinematic. And you get a screen change as well. So now, the next thing about dust is that you also have to use this button in order to throw your opponent. So if you were to be up close to, so we're going to get close to Kai. If I were input a direction left or right and click dust probably around the same time or when I'm holding the input, you throw. You're able to throw your character, throw the opponent. You can throw forwards, you can throw backwards, and you can also throw the opponent when they're jumping. So I'm going to set Kai to jump. And I'm going to walk up to him. We're going to air throw. You can also throw forwards. My bad. And backwards. So that's pretty simple. So next, we're going to talk about how anime fighters basically write or identify inputs. Now, what do I mean by that? So in anime fighters, including Guilty Gear, we use something called number pad notation to indicate what move that we're doing. So I'm going to try to put probably an image of a calculator, or a number pad on a keyboard on the screen. So you know, if you can't tell, the numbers are ordered from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in 3 rows. So depending on your input, you're going to use a number to associate that input. So this would be much easier if I have my display settings on. So look at my bottom right. You can see that's my input. This is my input bar. Shows all my buttons, my dust, more stuff. So we're going to go over each position one by one. So we're going to start by the first position, number 1. So number 1, or it's basically 1 in general. You're holding down, crouching, and then back. And basically, you're holding a diagonal position. So that's 1. This is basically how you block. 2 is your crouching position. 3 is your crouching position, but you're holding a forward input. 4 is that you're moving backwards. 5 is no input whatsoever. 6, you're going forwards. 7, you're kind of jumping and you're moving backwards. Up, back, basically what they call it. 8 is you're jumping. And 9 is basically you're diagonal forward and you're jumping forward. And that's basically number pad notation. And with that, we can actually use this for describing moves as well. So let's go back to Soul's Punch. So this will actually be called 5P because we're in a neutral position and we're clicking punch. So this will be called 5P. There's also 5K. There's 5S. And specific for slash, we don't really use numbers for slash. We just call it close slash or far slash. But just know that it is technically 5S. And then we have 5HS, which is Soul's 5 heavy slash, because we're in neutral position, clicking heavy slash. You also use it for differently. Let's do Soul's 2P. Remember 2P is 2 is a crouching position, and P is punch. This will be Soul's 2P. There's 2K, 2S, or yeah, 2S, and 2HS, and 2D. So we can do we're going to use this for combos. So say that I want to do Soul 5K to 6S. So we know 5K is neutral position. And 6S, remember 6 is forward. And we're doing 6S, so we're doing that move. So let's do Soul's 5K to 6S. 5K, 6S. And the thing about Guilty Gear Strive is that we also have something called Gatlings, where you're able to connect one move into another move without having to, do like one-frame links, such as in Street Fighter. But in this game, you can just chain attacks together. Most anime fighters follow that same format. So that's normal presentation. And also, we can also use it to describe special moves as well. So Soul's Bandit Revolver is 2, 3, 6. Because remember, the crouching position, 3 is forward, and 6. And then if we do that in a single motion and do click, we get a Bandit Revolver. And if we do Soul's 2, 1, 4, we get a Bandit Bringer. And then let's do one more. Let's do Soul's 214S. We get Night Raid Vortex. Oh, my bad. I suck. And then let's do Soul's Gunflame, which is 236P. And then finally, let's do one more. We're gonna do Soul's. This probably be a bit hard to remember. Soul's 4, 1, 2, 3 heavy slash. So basically a half circle motion. If you don't know what half circle is, so you see how this entire number pad is a circle. We're gonna do half of that, half circle, or 4, 1, 2, 3, 6. So Guilty Gear Strive, you don't have to be too clean of your inputs. The game's relatively kind to you when you're trying to input a special move. They kind of know what you're going for, so they kind of know when you're recognizing. And then finally, let's do one more. We're going to do Soul's Volcanic Viper. He has two versions of Volcanic Viper. His slash version and his heavy slash version. And to do Volcanic Viper, you want to do Soul's 6, 2, 3. And slash or heavy slash. So 6, 2, 3. 6, 2, 3, slash. And then one more. His heavy slash version, which is basically stronger and lasts longer. Yeah, so that's basically number pad notation. And then let's do a small combo. So we're gonna do Soul's 5K to 6S into 2, 3, 6K. So we're gonna do 5K, 6S into Soul's Bandit Revolver, which we remember is 2, 3, 6K. Do 5K, 6S, 2, 3, 6K. And that is a simple combo. We can also do close slash. We're gonna do close slash 5HS into 2, 1, 4K. Which is basically Soul's Bandit Bringer. Very simple combos. Alright, so that's basically the basics of that. So now we're going to talk about what most people don't really like to talk about, is blocking. So we're going to set Kai to attack. So we're gonna record him doing an attack. Okay, so we record that. So in order to block in this game, you have to either hold back or down back. Remember, so holding back is basically 4, and holding down back is in the 1 position. So we're going to hold back. Do it again. So that's how you block this game. And remember that there's also lows and high attacks in this game. So what are lows? So lows are attacks that can only be blocked by crouch blocking. So we're gonna have Kai do his 2D. Not his 2D. His 2K into 2D. Remember, 2K is in crouch position, and we're can click, and we're gonna do 2D. So we're gonna do 2K 2D. And if you were to block normally, let me just switch the inputs. Let me just do that again. So if you were to block standing, right? When you're blocked standing, you're not allowed to. You're not able to block low attacks in this game, and the only way, of course, to block low attacks is to crouch block. So if I were to try to block Kai's 2K to 2D standing, that won't work. So let's send him into 2K 2D. See how I get tripped from that? And you can see I'm holding back. You look at my inputs, I'm holding back to block. I still got hit. The only way to block this move is to, of course, hold down back with crouch blocking. Now, the thing about crouch blocking is that you're not able to block overhead attacks. What do I mean by overhead attacks? So, an overhead attack, which is an attack that hits, of course, overhead, meaning that you're not the only way to block an overhead attack is by stand blocking. So we're gonna set Kai to jump in and do heavy slash in the air. So if I were to crouch block, see I'm holding down back, he's gonna jump. You see how I can't block that? And I still get hit from that. The only way to block this move is by standing. See? And also one thing to add is that, remember that dust attack we were talking about? This is a universal overhead for every single character, as well as their sweep. So if Kai were to be, so we're gonna set Kai to do his dust attack. And then, so the only way to block this is by standing, stand block. If I were to block this over down, I get hit from it. So remember that you have to change your blocking depending on what move your opponent is doing. So another important thing about blocking is something called FD. So what is FD? FD stands for faultless defense. So we're going to hold back and we're going to hit 2 buttons that doesn't include dust. So you see that green spear that's surrounding Soul? That's basically your faultless defense. And you can press it as many times as you want. And the thing about FD is that it drains your tension bar, which we will go over later in this video. See how it's kind of draining my meter? And what's so special about FD anyway? So the thing about FD is that it pushes your opponent back when you're blocking. So we're gonna let me see if I can set Kai. So we're gonna have Kai do that simple combo. If we block from Kai, so let's block this combo from Kai, or this block string. Notice how somewhat close I am to Kai after he did that block string. So now we're gonna hold back and we're gonna hold 2 buttons when he does block string. Oh, my bad. See how considerably farther Kai is away from Soul? So when you're trying to reset the situation and you're trying to go back so neither player has the advantage nor disadvantage, you want to FD. So you want to push your opponent away so they don't gain too much advantage and don't get straight up in your face all the time. So remember, we're going to block that again with FD and make them farther away from us. See? We're farther away, but if we were to block normally, Kai is considerably closer to me. So remember the FD if you're trying to push your opponent away. So, and another important thing about blocking is something called the Risc gauge. So I'm going to set Kai to block, and we're going to just go ham on this dude. So if you look below the burst gauge, which we will talk about later, you can see a purple bar slightly increasing the more we hit Kai when he's blocking. So the only way to build up Risc gauge is by hitting an opponent when they're blocking. And you see how there's like a warning sign in it. So if Kai were to get hit right if Kai was to get hit if he wasn't blocking, he would take much more considerable amount of damage because of how much Risc gauge that he built up. So you want to avoid blocking too much in this game, because if you were to get attacked or you get hit right after you're blocking, when you build tons of Risc gauge, you're going to take tons of damage for it. So let's avoid doing that. Let's just build the Risc gauge again. All right, and then let's go to gauge. Let's put his Risc gauge right here. We're gonna make him stop blocking. So see how my Risc gauge is super high. So you see that huge counter hit. We'll go over counter hits later. So any move you do will be a counter hit, like a super juicy counter hit, no matter what movie, even a small move is just 5p, which we'll explain why it's important later. So you would take much more damage if you get hit when you have tons of Risc gauge build up. So that's something to avoid. Talk about bursting. So if you look below the health bar, or Soul Kai's health bar, and the blue bar that's next to the timer, you see an icon called burst. So if you're getting comboed in Guilty Gear Strive, if you click the buttons Dust and any other attacking move like punch, kick, slash, or heavy slash, you do a burst. So we're gonna set Kai to do his attack on us. So see how I'm getting hit? If I do Dust and slash or any other button at the same time, I can get out of that situation, and Kai won't be able to damage me. So this is called a burst. So you have to do, you don't have to do burst, but you can use a burst to get out of sticky situations such as that. Yep. There's also a another burst called the gold burst. So we're gonna turn off our meter. We're gonna make the meter set to 0. And then we're gonna run up and burst Kai. What happened there? So you can't tell, when we did a gold burst, we get all our meter back. Look at that. Like immediately 100% of our meter. So how do you do a gold burst? So in order to do a gold burst, you can't be getting hit, or you can't be blocking. So you have to use so in order to do a gold burst, you have to do it pretty much offensively without getting hit. And if you're able to land the gold burst, you're able to get all your meter back, which is super helpful. But if you were to miss the gold burst and you do like way out here without hitting the opponent, not only do you lose your combo breaker opportunity, you also don't build up any meter. If you were to use your burst and you don't hit anybody, you won't be able to use your burst for a significant amount of time. Well, the burst, okay, the only way you can use your burst again is when it finishes up building up, but it's going to take quite a while. So you want to be careful when using your burst. And you don't want to be super predictable when using it either. So that's basically the burst gauge. So now we're going to talk about meter, or the tension bar, in which Guilty Gear calls it. So I'm going to turn off the display settings so you're able to see the meter well. And we're going to set the gauge setting to tension gauge, generate, normal. Alright, there we go. So we have full tension meter. So tension, you're able to do things called Roman cancels and supers, and remember, like we talked before, FD, which remember you can hold back and 2 buttons at the same time. So we can do Roman cancel, which we'll go over later, and super. Let's do one of Soul's really flashy supers. So all Roman cancels and all supers in the game use 50% of your meter, which is indicated by the gear icon. You see that moving gear in my tension bar? So you do another super like Soul's Tyrant Rave, use 50% of your meter, and like Roman cancels, you use 50% of your meter. Yeah, so that's basically how you can use your tension, and remember you can use FD as well. So how do you gain FD? So let's waste our meter. Let's just absolutely blow through it. So how do you gain tension? My bad. So the only way to gain tension in Guilty Gear Strive, and basically I think it's every single Guilty Gear game, is you have to be offensive. Like you have to get up to your opponent. So say that I'm literally walking towards Kai, that builds up my tension meter. Let's do that again. And if I'm dashing towards Kai, I also beat up more tension meter. See how? So when you're moving towards the opponent, it's basically when you're playing offensively or aggressively, you gain meter. And also when you're attacking your opponent, you also gain meter. And also, you can also gain meter when blocking, but it's very minor. So we're gonna block Kai's attacks. See how it just slightly builds up meter? It's not a lot, but that's also one way to get it. Remember to gain meter, you have to dash, get close to your opponent. Even air dashing towards your opponent builds up meter. Walking towards your meter. The only time where you don't build up meter is when you're moving backwards. So see, I'm backdashing backwards, and walking backwards. It doesn't gain meter. So you always have to be offensive. You want to gain meter. Remember that. And see, attacking builds up meter. So that's basically how you gain tension. So now we're going to go over the applications for tension. So remember I was talking about Roman cancels. So what are Roman cancels? So Roman cancels basically allow you to cancel any move into another move. And there's actually 4 types of Roman cancels. So let's go over all 4. So the really basic Roman cancel that you should know is called the red Roman cancel. So how do you do a red Roman cancel? So in order to do this type of Roman cancel, you have to be attacking your opponent, and you have to cancel. So let's do. So we're gonna attack our opponent, and right when the hit connects, we're gonna do a Roman cancel. And to do a Roman cancel, there's multiple ways to do Roman cancel. So let me get my display, my vertical controller display. So there's two ways to do a Roman cancel. Either by doing a Roman cancel macro, which is basically one button, so you don't have to click multiple buttons. So my Roman cancel button is the right trigger on a PS5 controller. So I can just click this one button to do Roman cancel. But if I were to click 3 buttons at the same time that are not dust, you can also do Roman cancel. So I'm clicking kick, slash, and heavy slash. You also do punch, kick, slash, or you can do kick. You can do punch, slash, heavy slash. But I don't know why you would do that. So that's basically how you build up how to do a Roman cancel. But the easiest way is just basically use a macro. So let's do that one simple combo again. So we're gonna do Souls 5K to 6S to his bandit revolver, which we talked about before about number pad notation, which is 236K, into a red Roman cancel. You see how time kind of slow downs a bit when we do the Roman cancel? It takes a while for Kaido to fall to the ground. See that? See how it falls way faster if you don't do Roman cancel? But we do Roman cancel. Let me do that again. He slowly falls to the ground. So Roman cancels, they cause your opponent to slow down. And for a red Roman cancel, if you land it, it also props your opponent in the air. So if I were to do, let's just do Souls 5K to 5K. If I do Roman cancel, it flies them up in the air. And with that in mind, you could extend your combo when that happens. So let's do that same combo again we did earlier, which is Souls 5K to 6S to a bandit revolver. And let's continue that combo after doing the Roman cancel. You see how I extended the combo? So red Roman cancels give you tons of opportunities to continue the combo, and this is basically how you can get super creative in Guilty Gear. You can also do a. Let's see if we can make another one. So the thing about Guilty Gear is you can just theory craft anything. You can just do anything you want. I did a purple Roman cancel, which we'll go over in a second. Yep, so you basically do anything you want. So the next Roman cancel is the purple Roman cancel, which you probably saw before when I was screwing up my inputs. So in order to do a purple Roman cancel, you have to whiff a move or do a Roman cancel right before you do a move. So what do I mean by that? So I'm gonna do Soul's Gunflame, which is 2, 3, 6P. So that's his Gunflame. So see how he can't really move around? Like, I have to wait until the move ends in order to move around. If I do a Roman cancel right after I do Soul's Gunflame, I cancel the end lag from my Gunflame, and I can move around. And this is actually a really powerful technique too. If you're playing Soul, you can purple RC and rush up to your opponent and run with the Gunflame. And you can even combo offer it too. Yep, so that's basically how you do a purple Roman cancel. You don't have to do a special move to do a Roman cancel. Well, of course, you can do like bandit revolver and then cancel it with a purple Roman cancel. And the thing about purple Roman cancels is that they also slow down your opponent. See how there's that clock is on top of Kai? All Roman cancels do that. So you can also cancel. So say that you do a move, right? So we're gonna do Soul's Night Ray Vortex, and we're gonna immediately cancel with a Roman cancel purple Roman cancel to cancel the end lag. See, I canceled the end lag and Night Ray Vortex, and I did Soul's Command Grab. So you can even trick your opponent. Say that I'm gonna do Bandit Bringer. I cancel it and I go for a different attack. You can get super creative with the purple Roman cancels. You also don't have to do a special attack. So say that you accidentally whiff Soul's Heavy Slash, which actually has a considerable amount of end lag to it. You can purple Roman cancel that to make sure you don't mess up any opportunities and don't give your opponent a way to get in. So basically, purple Roman Cancel is basically a way to keep yourself safe if you accidentally did a move, or to continue your pressure. So that's basically the purple Roman Cancel. So the next Roman Cancel is the blue Roman Cancel. So the blue Roman Cancel is basically you're doing the Roman Cancel without hitting somebody or by doing a move. So basically it's in neutral. So you're not doing anything. You're not attacking the opponent, and you're not doing any special moves. You see how I have that blue shockwave, and there's a clock on top of Kai. So the thing about blue Roman Cancel is that your opponent is slowed down much longer. Well, not much longer, or just longer than the other Roman Cancels. So Kai is kind of more significantly slowed down. So why would you do a blue Roman Cancel? So blue Roman Cancels, you can do. So you say that how about you're trying to air dash Kai, right? And Kai tries to anti-air you. If you blue Roman Cancel that, he'll be slowed down and you'll be able to block that counter. So we're gonna set Kai to do his Vapor Thrust. So I'm gonna try to rush Kai. You see how I got anti-air there? If I were to blue Roman Cancel that, let me see. I can block that. So you can use blue Roman Cancels to make yourself safe when you're trying to approach your opponent. And you can counter. So that's basically how you apply Roman Cancels. And you can also do the blue Roman Cancel on the ground. So say that you're trying to get an opportunity on Kai, or you want to do a really funny combo that shouldn't really work. So remember how we talked about the slowdown, about the blue Roman Cancel? You're able to hit your opponent multiple times before they move away. So if I were to do spam Souls 5p, see how you can only get 3 hits? But if I do a blue Roman Cancel, that slows down the opponent, so they wouldn't really travel as far. See how I can get like 6 punches in there? So with that in mind, you can connect moves that shouldn't connect with each other. So let's try a really dumb combo. We're gonna do blue Roman Cancel. See how that connects? If I were to do Souls 5p to 5k to 6s, that doesn't really combo. You see that? But if I do a blue Roman Cancel, since your opponent's slowed down, they can't really move out of that combo. Let's do that one time. See how that combos? So basically, you can use the time slowdown from the blue Roman Cancels to basically increase your opportunities. And now the final Roman Cancel is called the yellow Roman Cancel. So we're gonna set Kai to block us again. We're gonna set Kai to attack us. So we're gonna do the simple combo again. So we're gonna block that attack. So what did I do there? So yellow Roman Cancels, you can only do yellow Roman Cancels when you're getting hit and you're blocking. So basically, you can only do yellow cancel when you're blocking an attack. So you remember, you just hit the Roman Cancel button. So the thing about yellow Roman Cancel is that it pushes your opponent away and disrupts their attack, and it basically resets the situation, and you're able to get your turn back. So now I can probably approach Kai now. But if I'm just blocking regularly, I have to wait until the move ends, or the block string ends, in order to act out of it. But if I yellow Roman Cancel, I can try to approach. I try to punish it. So that's how you do a yellow Roman Cancel. And now, the next thing we need to know about Roman Cancels is that you can do something called drift Roman Cancels, or drift RC is how they would do that. So if you were to input a direction twice, right before you do a Roman Cancel, you actually move. So I'm gonna input forward twice and then do Roman Cancel. You see how I slightly move in there? It's like there's like a duplicate of Soul when I do a Roman Cancel. So this is RC drift. And you can do it in the 4 cardinal directions, which is basically up, down, left, and right. So I can do upwards, I can do downwards, left, and right. And you can do this for all Roman Cancels except for yellow, because yellow Roman Cancels are only meant to be used defensively. So let's use a drift Roman Cancel when I'm doing a combo. So that means we're going to use a purple Roman Cancel. I'm going to drift forward to Kai, and I can be a bit closer. And how about let's do Soul's Gunflame. So remember how you can cancel the move with a purple Roman Cancel? I can do this, and I can drift forward cancel. I can drift Roman cancel, and I can rush up on Kai. You can also use this defensively. So say that you're thinking Kai is about to do something and absolutely destroy you. You can throw out Gunflame, and then drift Roman cancel back. So put tons of space between you and Kai. So the situation is pretty safe for you. So you can get away from Kai and reset the situation. So that's basically how you use it. You can also mix up your opponents. So say that you're rushing towards them, and you can just use the other side. There's tons of things you could do with Drift RC. And another thing about Roman cancels, not including yellow Roman cancels, is that you're able to cancel. Get it? Roman cancel to cancel. Cancel Roman cancel. You're able to cancel the Roman cancel with another move. So what do I mean by that? So I'm going to do Soul's 5k into Roman cancel. Now I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to click a button right when I do the Roman cancel. See how I immediately canceled that Roman cancel with another cancel into a cancel? Okay, that was dumb. So this is called a fast RC. So meaning that you're able to cancel the Roman cancel into a move immediately. So I'm gonna do Soul's Close Slash. Let me see if I can get it. It's actually kind of difficult. See how you can immediately cancel the that move. You can also do this with blue RCs. Except I'm not sure why. The practicality, I don't really see it yet, but it's only been 1 month since the game came out, so we'll probably maybe meta soon. See how you can fast Roman cancel. Now the thing about fast Roman cancels is that it doesn't slow down your opponent. But the thing about fast Roman cancels is that in Guilty Gear Strive, when you do a combo, specifically with a red Roman cancel and how it props the opponent up. So let's get the damage counter on. So we're gonna turn on the damage counter. So we're gonna do remember that combo we were doing before? Success. See how it does like 161 damage. If you were to fast Roman cancel that, let me see. I'm not a really good Soul player. You're technically able to do more damage if you do a fast Roman cancel. So why is that? So the thing about red Roman cancel is that it counts as a hit. See how the number increased from 5 to 6 when I did Roman cancel? If you were to do a fast Roman cancel, it wouldn't register as a hit, meaning that your combo won't really scale. And you actually technically do more damage. I can't really display it with Soul, but I can explain it with my main character, Leo Whitefang. So let's get Leo out. Alright, so here I have my main Leo Whitefang. So we're going to do one of Leo's bread and butter combos, which is 5k to 6s to 2, 3, 6 slash. And then we're going to Roman cancel that. And then we're going to continue the combo. See how that did, that combo did 116 damage? If I were to do a fast Roman cancel, that did 128. Because the red Roman cancel didn't register as a hit. So I'm able to do more damage because the combo doesn't scale as much. And we get a juicy combo off of that. And if I were to do it with a regular Roman cancel, like it props the opponent up and everything. Let me do that again. I only got 169 damage from that, and we're going to talk about the wall later. So that's basically how you can apply fast Roman cancels. So let's go back to Soul and Kai. So here we're back with Soul. And then remember how we talked about you can also do supers? So in order to do so most super inputs in Guilty Gear Strive, they're actually, I think I would say probably one of the hardest things in this game. So in order to do a super, the majority of the cast is able to use the same command input. So in order to do Soul's Tyrant Rave, we're going to do 6, 3, 2, 1, 4, 6. 6, 3, 2, 1, 4, 6 heavy slash. 6, 3, 4, 1, 2, 6 heavy slash. And you can see I am 100% totally not clean with my inputs. But Guilty Gear Strive, they're pretty lenient when trying to read what you're trying to do. They technically know what you're doing. This input can be kind of difficult for beginners. And the other input for supers, most characters, is a double quarter circle, which is basically a quarter of a half circle, or half of a half circle. See how I'm doing course right here. Is 2 core circles, or basically 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4 heavy slash. This is Soul's Heavy Moss Cemetery. And remember, both supers and Roman cancels, they use 50% of your attention. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Guilty Gear Strive's probably the most unique mechanic, the wall. And if you saw before, you see how I'm using Leo and just hitting Kai into the like blasting him through the wall. So in order to do a wall break, you have to hit your opponent a number amount of times in order to get the wall breaks animation. I'm not really a Kai, I'm not really a Soul player, so let's see if I can see how he's wall splat. So if you're able to combo your opponent set amount of times, not set amount of time, you're able to kind of combo your opponent enough, they'll be splat into the wall. So we're gonna do that one more time. Wait. My bad. And you hit him one more time, it does a wall transition, a wall break. So it launches Kai into basically everyone into the second stage and onto the next screen. Also, when you do a wall break, it gives you a set amount of damage as well. So it also increase the amount of damage you do during combo. So now, do you notice the top left of the screen, it says positive? So when you do a wall break in Guilty Gear Strive, hold on, let me just turn off the damage counter so it'll be easier to see. So when you do a wall break, let me just get one more wall break. And I know how to do that. You'll get a positive bonus. And if you look on the bottom of the screen, you see how my tension bar is passively increasing by itself without me doing anything? So that's the benefit of breaking the walls, that you're able to get passive meter gain. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that wall break combo one more time. Oh, my bad. See how it increases? And if I were to run up and do act offensively towards Kai, it builds up super quick. So that's the thing about the positive meter bonus. So there's also something called the negative and danger meter bonus. So we're gonna turn off you and you. Oh my bad, you. So if you do too many defensive options, such as backdashing or back air dashing too much, you get a danger icon. So danger just reduces. You see how my tension gain is slightly reducing. And if you do too many defensive options, you get a negative penalty, and it'll take all of your meter away. So you want to avoid being super defensive Guilty Gear Strive. Plus, it can hinder your meter gain for a bit as well. Also, if you don't do anything for a set amount of time, you'll also lose your meter. So you really want to avoid this situation because it can put you in a really bad spot. So you always want to be defensive. You want to be offensive, mostly defensive in Guilty Gear. And see how my meter gain is super slow even when I'm attacking Kai. So that's why you want to avoid getting the negative penalty. Yep, so that's the negative penalty. Yeah. So I think that basically wraps up everything or most of the things you need to know when getting started with Guilty Gear Strive. I hope this guide was somewhat intuitive and helpful in your journey through becoming a Guilty Gear player. And I actually hope you enjoyed the video. This probably kind of took a long time to make and a few tries, but I hope I'm able to help you get started. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and this is the Banana Tuna signing off.